Thank you everyone joining today. So today is the final session hosted by Learncybersec. Shubham going to wrap this session with final session today. Let's get started. Shubham, over to you.
Sure. So, guys, thanks a lot for coming to the end session. And again, I really wanted to talk about a lot of other bugs and vulnerabilities. There are a lot of aspect in bug bounty, and basically, bug bounty you can take it as a side profile for now. Let's say you have when you gather a ample amount of money, you can totally ditch your company. I'm not telling you to ditch right now, but you can definitely because bug bounty pays you a lot and it made me financially stable and not just about the financial thing. I really like about the what I really like about bug bounty is it's totally up to you how much you can push yourself, how can you do it yourself. So let's start our session today. This is going to be our final session. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Sure, sir. Okay. So this is the end session where I will, tell you how you can approach bug bounty. I have already told you everything that you need to know as a beginner to go how and approach how bug bounty works, what are the bug bounty spaces, how can you define scopes and all. And I will just give a recap to you about all those three, classes. So let's start. And also I will show you some great POCs very recently I found. So let's go over that. I think, do I need to, do a slideshow or just here?
Yes, make it bigger as we are recording. While they watch recording, they will
Sure,
see the full screen.
sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go
coming to
ahead.
the bug bounty workflow, basically, every hacker has their own methodology. You can do one thing is go through multiple, multiple people's, methodology. You can check them how they do recon, how they do fuzzing, understanding how the directory and other things work. You have to just gather all of those, and I will recommend you some people who are doing absolutely great, and you can follow them, you can check out their courses. But and then what I want you is to go through yourself and understand how you can create your own workflow. So this is the most important thing. You can't copy someone else's workflow for a long time because ultimately it will hamper you. You have to create your own workflow, right? Yeah. So, what are avoiding chaos? Like, why workflow matters is definitely if you go and check someone else's methodology, you might not find a proper bug. You have to understand how you can do it yourself. What are the, let's say, business logic flaws? What are the broken access control? How you understand, how you approach that scope? That's totally depending on you. And the most important thing is consistency. So before coming to Microsoft, I was, working with other like companies for IBM, Amazon, AWS, and other cases. But last year, I thought I should start with Microsoft, and I am still connecting to Microsoft because Microsoft's workspace and attack surface is huge. They have a lot of subdomains, a lot of IPs to understand how things are actually working, how things are not working, what are the things. So when you stick to a company, the best option is to stick to a company, because when you stick to a company you will gradually understand how things are working. For example, Microsoft Authenticator app, we use that every day. We don't understand how Authenticator works. So even Authenticator works in offline because it's connect to your uh, device, and it creates a very unique hash ID, and that converts into your OTP. So you have to understand how things are working, and when you gradually come to that company's every aspect, when there is a Citrix, when there is a Palo Alto endpoint or any other endpoint like Grafana or anything, you will definitely remember. It will click on your mind that yeah, I have found something like this. So let's do hunting. So definitely consistency is the key, because I when I started I used to get like I didn't used to get like a bug for 2 to 3 months, and it was very hectic. Then gradually I got to understand how things are working. I started from $50, $100, and other friends actually pushed me a lot to get into this. And definitely I'll become an MVR this year. Already I'm in Q4 leaderboard. And yeah, that's my story. You have to be consistent. You have to work hard to understand how things are working and not. So I will show everything to you right now. So the 5 phases that I already told you. The most important phase is recon. You have to understand how basic website is working, what are the endpoints, how the APIs are working. You have to brute force all the APIs. You have to connect. You have to understand what API endpoints are giving you a follow back and all. Then understanding the scanning and enumeration, how try to figure out a website. Let's say there is a user called admin, and you try to put password admin, password is also admin. So there might be the password is wrong, but at least you got to know there is a user called admin. So you try to enumerate from admin. You try to check if there is any hard coded password in the source code. Then analysis, trying to test manually, try to exploit. And I have already shown you how to report in the previous session. So this is the whole workflow. You have to understand the scope. You have to find, subdomains, endpoints. And you have to do probing for test. Let's say low hanging fruits. Let's say for low hanging fruits, you found a endpoint. There is an AI. You try to put accesses in that AI, and you find a pop up reflected, but it's self. Now you have to connect that AI chatbot, to actually replicate it to main website and fetch some cookies. Then you have to understand manual logic testing. Try what you can do is a very easy race condition. Try to create an account. Let's say when you try to create an account, stop that request, and instead you put multiple accounts in single tab and send all those tabs parallelly, and check if they are creating multiple accounts with one single request. If that's happening, so that means a business logic flaw, and it's created through race condition. Definitely that's a big issue. Then you have to document everything and chain everything to understand if things are properly working or not, right? So phase one is reconnaissance, the foundation of every successful hunt. You have to understand how fuzz is working. What are the tools for FUF? What are the tools for directory, busting? I mean, checking for directories. Let's say there might be a endpoint in some main website called /.bak. I mean, backup files. Maybe there's might be some backup files present, or let's say some download well-known workflow or something endpoint, and you can check their API resources. And there you might see that there are some cases where there is a endpoint called v1 v2 for every users. Try to change v1 v2, understand what is happening. If let's say instead of v3 you are getting a v2, and they are giving you back every details, so that might be a case. Now, obviously, passive recon is the silent case, like you can do who is lookup, DNS history, Shodan searches that I showed you, Google docking you can do. Mainly, basically, you have to identify what are the technologies, what are the acquisition, what are the forgotten assets that are present there. So this is a visual recon. You can take it as a visual recon. You have to understand, yeah, I remembered something that it's working on, let's say Next.js. You have to understand, okay, let's find all the Next.js pages. Then there are other cases like active subdomain, reconnaissance. There are a lot of tool I already mentioned you. For example, you can do Amas, you can do Asset Finder, you can do sub finders, to check how many subdomains are there. Then, touching the target, sending packets through the target. Let's create some, screenshots for the target. You can check manually one by one how what are the subdomains have screenshots. If it's a 404, how screenshot is working. There might be cases that you get a 404 like no such bucket. Great, then you found a open bucket for a company. You can take it over, right? Subdomain takeover. Then scanning and enumeration, mapping the attack surface. You have to understand, you know, how the attack surface is working. You can do a port scanning through nmap. It can structure you with what the ports are opening, what the exposed databases are present, what are the forgotten services that leads to critical services, right? I can show you one example is, let's say you have to find MongoDB. Very sorry. So there is a website called Security Scorecard. Okay. So you go to that security scorecard. It will create a entire, page. There are some, uh, let's say false positive. You just have to log into that and you have to give the name of your company and it will give you the entire data set of a company. So let's say what I found yesterday was, let's say, I will show it to you later. Before that, let's say you download a detailed report for every company. Let's say I can do is say Microsoft. Okay, so they gave me a 232 pages of detailed discussion about Microsoft. And then you can check what are the IPs, what are the enumeration, if anything exposed or not. They will give you a detailed response of, let's say I want to find MongoDB. Is it present here? Let's say, yeah, as you can see, there are multiple MongoDB services. As you can see, there are these type of endpoints that are, present here. You check for this port, and if you find something, very recently a MongoDB bleed came, we actually reported it. So what you can do is check that if this website is having any vulnerability or not, and it's directly present to Microsoft. What you can also do is just copy the IP and check if the IP is actually presentable for Microsoft or not. I mean, if this is working for Microsoft or not. What you can do is you can use who is or whatever you want. You can use some IP info. You can go to that website and check for the IP. And let's say check if the IP is actually of Microsoft or not. So as you can see, it's already of Microsoft. You can use it in Shodan and check if the actually Django server is having any bug or not. Right. So coming to the PPT. Yeah, you can do port scanning. You can do check for 3306 for MySQL server. Let's say if there is any open MySQL server, you can check for any CVs that are present or not. And it's very helpful here. As you can see, if I go to that report and let's say they have created some. So as you can see, MySQL service is already present here. Check for all the vulnerabilities present here. Also, they will create, some CV records for you. You can go to the, let's say 2025. Did you find anything? They will tell you, yeah, we found multiple things. As you can see, they created some IPs, some open ports, and they told us, I found a Squid Cache proxy. So this is a very recent CV. You can check for all this. You can check manually one by one that if things are false positive or actually they are working on the back end or not. So this is very helpful. And then this can be a passive recon, and then this can also be a helpful when you try to exploit those sites. And then definitely fuzzing using FUF. You can try to check for backup admin. Let's say you get an admin panel, or might be an environment panel.env, and some environment keys are open, let's say Azure, or some other API keys are present, and you try to check if those APIs are actually working or not. So that can be a possibility. Then spidering, in old burp we could use spider to crawl everything, but right now we can use Katana, or maybe some other crawlers like JS crawler, or anything related to, let's say, Wayback Machine. You check for each endpoint, that if you find, there might be some cases where some data is getting exposed, like using some JWT tokens, and you can use that and check if the JWT is still working or not. So what you can do is you can check anything with Medium. Very recently, one of my friend Gauri Shankar also found a endpoint in Visual Studio where he found a JWT token. With that, he could connect to a chatbot. You can search it for Gauri Shankar A in his Medium. So that's a great report you can find. Then coming to the vulnerability analysis, definitely how the hunting is, working. So let's say manual analysis, modify IDs, inject payloads, change headers. You can do a lot. Like for this one, you can create, let's say, a tab and add all those tabs to one single tab and try to do a race condition to create multiple accounts. Or let's say there is a, there is a, let's say, what is that called, promo code. Okay, so you use promo code once in your phone or your laptop or your website, but let's say with burp you try to send all the promo code, let's say 5 to 6 tabs of promo code together, and let's say for each promo code you are getting 10% off, and try to check if you send 5 promo codes. There might be some cases that for the business logic error you are getting 50% off. That's another, resemblance you can do it. Then some automated scannings. You use nuclei. Nuclei is a, best tool for hunting all the CVs that are already present or that are already added. But definitely the downside is, when you come to automation, there's a lot of noise. You send multiple requests, your IP might get flagged and they might, ban your IP. So verification, always manually verify if the scanner result is actually working, if the data is actually getting leaked or not, right? Then you have to create some proof of concept that if it did happen or not. You have to, do a proper POC video if possible. If not, you can use your screenshots to check that if the exploitation is actually working or not, what are the impacts. So in bug bounty hunting space, the most important thing is creating impact. If you are able to create an impact, if you are able to show them that yeah, I did these things, and I can show you that, so they will definitely, agree with your conditions. I mean, not definitely you are going to tell give me this much money, obviously not, but you are going to tell them that yeah, the bug is actually existing, it's working, I can do things with that bug, and definitely they will understand your point. Now, a validation and safety. Let's say you find a SQLite table, okay, or doing anything like RC. You should not, do only. You should do like who am I for an RC, not an RMRF. I guess RMRF is known by everyone. Remove something. I mean, delete something totally from the file. You should not do that, and you should not download all the SQLi parameters. I mean, don't drop the tables, don't delete it from the main server. Definitely, let's say you find SQLi in a production server and you delete it accidentally. So that will be a huge loss for that company, right? And another thing is false positive. You get a lot of false positive every day. You have to check that if this thing is actually working or not. Let's say you found an API key. Let's say Google Map API key, Gmap API key. It start from capital A, I, small z, small a, capital S, capital Y. You try to do it, check it in GitHub. You can try to check it in GitLab, and let's see that if those companies are actually leaking those, API keys or not. There might be cases that API keys are rotatable, so they will change it, but there might be multiple cases where your important API key can lead to takeover, right? So that will be a scenario. You have to check manually that yeah, these things are actually working. Then, reporting. I showed you how to report. A good report definitely can turn a lower severity bug into a medium. If your report is good, they will definitely, be willing to pay you, because our report was very good in Intel. So they told us, your report was absolutely perfect. Even though we found those bugs internally, we're still going to pay you. And they paid us 5,000. So impact is the most important thing. Why, does this matter? Why it is, very important, crucial for company. Steps to reproduce, definitely bulletproof, step-by-step instruction. Then vulnerability type and location. So what after submission? You report, always verifies the, validity. Triger will do that, and then we'll, first, submit and try, then resolve. Dev team will say, it's in develop stage or, pre-release stage. Then reward, obviously, paisa hi paisa hoga, hopefully. But yeah, that's the whole scenario. You can do collaboration. Me and my collaborator Rishi Arora, you can check his profile also. Was starting to do, bug hunting for Microsoft this last year, and he's already in 15 rank in Q4 leaderboard. So definitely, you can see that the progress, and definitely last year we started doing work, started working on Microsoft, and we are already in the total points of MBR. I am almost 190, over 190, and I'm going to be an MBA for sure. I mean, I'm confident. So you have to understand how hacking is working. You have to collaborate with other people to understand how much you can split bounties. Let's say someone has contributed a lot, definitely give them more reward, more credit. Let's say if someone has done like 70 to 80% of their work, split the bounty with them properly. Let's say he has done 70, take your 70, something like that. Respect and trust is the most important thing for collaboration. So again, what are the drawbacks of bug bounty burnout? Even yesterday I was working up to like 7 a.m. Just today I was working up to 7 a.m. just for one bug that I was finding in Microsoft AI. And so burnouts happen definitely. Don't hack 24/7. Definitely you have to give yourself little bit of time. Just because our age is not that much, so we try to understand and find a lot of things, put ourselves with computer long for a long time. You should definitely do exercise, learn a lot, read a lot, understand a lot, you might get failure. I mean, try to write, read all the write-ups that are present in HackerOne and Medium, understand how their workflow is working. I mean, how their workflow is happening, and then you try to create your own workflow. Let's say someone uses Subfinder, you don't want to use Subfinder, use Asset Finder, or Amas, use brute force to check if those uh, let's say website are present or not. Use crt.sh to check what the certificates assigned to those company. So definitely create your own methodology, and uh, for that I will show you some resources. Let's say before that I will, you know the one thing is stop the slide. So yeah. Hmm. For let's say some resources, you can check out the course of Jason Hedix. I'm not telling anyone to do any piracy here. Just if anyone wants, I can say that the PDFs. He has a great uh, recon technique to check what things are happening, how things are happening. I will share everything with you. Uh, I will share with Sir, and he will share everything with you. So let's come to the POC right now that I want to showcase you. Let's say this one. Yeah. So it's already complete, so I can show that with you guys and no problem with that. So this was about dreamspace.microsoft.com. It was an RC. As you can see, I already got case points of 60, and 60 is the highest case point possible. So what I found was you have to create a report like that. What are the vulnerability classes? How Next.js server action was working? What were the initial payload to the root path? I am waiting for the bounty, so I'm hoping for the best. And let's say what are the score, how you can define, what are the recommendation you want to give, what are the long-term fixes, Then there is a case for POC. How POC was working, let's say this was the dream space. You tried to put a WebKit, and what were the endpoints, how you got, the endpoints and working the digest. You have, before that you have to understand how the digests were working, if the deserialization was actually working for RSC flight component or not. And then you gradually try to exploit that. I have the POC for you guys. So it was a big POC to explain everything. So before that, let's say go through the dream space. So first they were telling, that after careful investigation, we were unable to reproduce the issue you reported. So they told me, the issue was not actually present. So I thought, why not, going through a proper technical review. So as you can see, it was the Dream Space website that was working on the current scenario. And what I did was I showed them how things are working. So this was a case for sliver.io. They explained why React to Cell is important and what things were working at the back end. And they definitely told us that the internal endpoint should give a digest, because why digest is happening, because you are totally creating a WebKit boundary, and in that boundary you are sharing some decomposition data. And because of the deserialization was present for the React server components flight protocol, a digest was generated. And you could bypass all those digests to go and get the UIDs, or might be etc password that I have already shown you in the previous cases. And this will checking the presence of e digest and 5 status code will reliably return vulnerable hosts and the environment endpoint. So I checked that. I showed them, this is the dream space Microsoft, and what they were doing is creating a content deposition with a digest familiarity. And later I used some you know UTF-16 based endpoint cases, and I tried to put that. And as you can see, the digest value was getting increased in the WebKit. And I can't show you the etc password one, but definitely. And then what I did was I changed it with five. I changed it from 55182 to 55184. And 55182 was basically the RC, and the 55184 was the protocol for same RSC protocol, I mean flight protocol. And this was happening because there was a fallback loop error that was creating a DOS for that flight protocol. So they were telling that the RSC is actually not working anywhere, and they're not giving you the proper digestion, and the digest will, I mean proper digest, and definitely digest will not help you in the long run. But I showed you, that the very RSC is present, then there is a next router state tree, and for that reason it can create a DOS. So I thought, why not checking it for Microsoft. I used a quick scan to check if the DOS was vulnerable to or not. You can definitely try to understand this bug. This is a great bug, and the tool is also great. You can understand how the tool is working by running it locally. And as you can see, when I tried to run the dream space, it was giving me that direct exploitation is possible because there was no WAF connected to that IP address, but definitely there were WAFs. And this was the content deposition endpoint for the payload content. This payload could, just single-handedly, you can put the website down for a uncertain time. So I checked that. I just sent it only one HTTP request, and the site got down. Let's see. If I try to, rerun the website, the site was already down. As you can see, the site is not working anymore. If I try to resend that, nothing is working. So I showed them, yeah, DOS was present there. And that's how I showed them the impact. And I hopefully am in the bounty review right now. This is already resolved. We can try, but it won't happen. and this was definitely a remote code execution and chained with proper DOS. So definitely it's the highest critical point possible. And then there were a lot of other reports that I presented to Microsoft. And you can ask me anything. Did you guys try like anything? Yesterday I showed you a lot of tools, CVs. Did you guys try anything? Guys, please respond. I think you should respond. Hello, guys.
Everyone, has anyone followed last previous sessions instructions and able to report any bugs?
I showed you some bugs. You could, try to directly go to that company's LinkedIn profile, directly message them, or you could try to, check their email to, pop them a report. This might be the case. You got a duplicate, but at least you could try. And this was a very new CV that I told you guys. For me, bug bounty is a very important scope, and it's very intriguing. And when I find a new CV coming, I just directly jump wherever I am, whenever I'm busy. I don't care. I just jump to that device and start working out. So you guys should get motivated too. That's how you can crack into bug bounty. Do you guys have any question or anything? I think this is the end of the session for me because I have nothing else to share because I said the most things I could in those small timings. I can share every details reported internally but not started with bug bounty. We'll start soon. Sure, Sandeep. You saw the CVs can be tested directly through the terminal. How can I do this for any CV? I mean, not any CV. You can try each CV. Let's say directly. I should not show you this, but just go to that security scorecard. Check if any MongoDB version is present for any website or not, and then go to 27107 and open that template for MongoDB bleed. Run that template in the scanner and check it manually in the buff that if the data is getting leaked or not. So should I show them right now? I mean, there might be many vulnerable instances present. I don't think I should. Guys, do you have any question? Anything?
Hi,
Yes, Aman,
Shubham, I'm on this
please.
side.
Yeah,
Actually, initial bug bounty, I've not much idea. The thing that you've done that is kind of advanced. So I'm still trying to get into this. The initial or the beginner level research, what I do is usually if I have got any site, that is the basic scenario. If I got any site, I'll be first of all I'll be using that webalizer just to check on the available packages. Mostly surface level vulnerabilities we can find over there, right? Like if
right,
I'm using any outdated packages or something. Apart from that, I have this Kali installed. So the other thing related to server or
right.
directory or maybe brute forcing or hash cracking, these things I do. But the advanced level of bug bounty, I'm still lagging. Like I will use Zap or Burp Suite, but in a automated way, automated scan. Usually we can
Right.
get a burp suit cracked version and we can perform automated scan, but that manual VA is a bit tough actually because then I have to read all the requests, all the posts and get. So yeah, that is the thing.
I mean, definitely see everyone is using automation. So let's say you are using automation, some other people in this, let's say lecture is actually using automation. You will get a
Hmm.
lot of, false positive and other things. But my first thing is, stick to one company. Let's say you go to HackerOne, just choose any one VDP right now. Go through every details, try to check if the wildcard is present, let's say IBM. Check everything, how things are working. You have to remember that, when you do a recon, let's say I showed you in the last video that if you're reckoning in IBM, you have to understand what the because as a fresher, you have to understand what how CVs are working. I mean, not properly the technical knowledges, but CVs will definitely help you to land some good Hall of Fames or good bounties at the starting point, right? You can check. You
Okay.
have to remember that these are the Palo Alto endpoints, these are the Citrix endpoints, these are the
Hmm.
other endpoints for, let's say, any old PHP version, any old Next.js version. So this will definitely help you a lot. Demonstrated
Okay.
how to, yeah,
Noted. I'll do it.
definitely. Anyone have any question? Start interacting. If you have any question, please start interacting. Sir, I'm almost done. You can start from your side now.
All right, yeah. Thank you, Shivam. Guys, this is golden opportunity. I brought real ethical hacker in front of you. If you have any questions, utilize this opportunity. If no further questions, I will take over the session. I will talk about high-level career guidance as a fresher or a beginner, how to start from zero to at least an intermediate level. What are the certifications and early level guidance available in the market. So if no further questions, will let me take over. Yeah, regarding the support, for example, you have found some critical bug, you need some assistance on reporting or guidance, feel free to reach over LinkedIn, as we may not able to build a chat or a Discord kind of a system, because we need to respect everyone's working hours and availability. So reach out to Shubham. Based on his availability, he can guide you further, because we really wanted to help serious learners. If someone is serious about bug bounty and want to learn, want to progress in that direction, we are here to help. That's the community we are developing here. So with that note, let me take control and share my screen.
Yes.
Right, it's loading. Yeah, hope. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, in terms of career guidance, so this presentation clearly prepared with the intention of helping someone directly come out of the college, or if you are experienced professional, you would like to switch the career into bug bounty, you may need such resources. Or if you are experienced professional, you want to mentor someone, let's say your relatives or known persons, if they start career in bug bounty or ethical hacking, how to guide properly. That's the intention behind preparing this resource. So first, bug bounty hunting, why that is important. As Shubham earlier highlighted, how to start with financially stable. If you are a person struggling with income, or you are living with your parents support, parents also earning less, you want to start something over the period, you need to meet day to day needs first, financially first stable, then only you can be more productive, more innovative, right? So as a side hustle or core primary job, ethical hacking is is a good opportunity. If you take Microsoft or any big company, their bug bounty program is in $1 million, not in lakhs or crores. Hundreds of crores they are spending yearly on bug bounty programs. So it's a very great opportunity to earn through side hustle as well as primary income through bug bounty hunting. Primarily, we all working to earn. We need to meet our day-to-day needs, right? So bug bounty is the best place. Next, flexible working hours. As you are an independent researcher, you don't have to show up on the office or log in, log out time, right? So you have full flexible. You are the boss for your job. Continuously, when you work on the bug bounty program, you will develop your own skill as well as you will get more dopamine in your brain. When I say dopamine, when you pass first grade, second grade, third grade in your school, you will get that feeling, right? Yes, you have successfully completed. When you join your work, maybe last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in your career, you never ever felt that success. When you find something innovative and reporting a major bug, you are securing some application, you get that motivation. You will do beyond your skill or your capable. You will do wonders when you get that dopamine. That dopamine only you will get when you innovate something, when you identify something, when you report some new bug, because you applied your skill and you are going ahead, right? So that these are the key benefits when you do bug bounty program. As this is not like a normal job, this is creative as well as this gives you motivation to go beyond. Next, foundations. As I said, for freshers, it takes some time, 30 days to 60 days to understand the fundamentals. Even though you have studied in colleges in India, especially in grade system, we only study for passing that particular subject in our college. We truly never understand the concept most of the time. So if you are a college graduate, if you wanted to get into the bug bounty, go through the basics once again. Use these keywords: IT fundamentals, networking, web technology, and goal is to refresh all the existing knowledge what you have and understand what is latest in those fundamentals. So most of the fundamentals never change. Maybe last 25 30 years Windows architecture remains same. Linux, you might have different flavors and versions, but core basics are same. So once you put your effort for learning fundamentals, that would be your solid base. So once you learn, let's say networking with the CCNA syllabus, you are done. You know in and out in the TCP stack or OSI model, right? The basics are covered. So understand where you can learn these basics through CCNA course or certified in cybersecurity by ISC squared. Many other program exist. They teach basic networking. So cover these fundamentals, because when I say port scanning or nmap tool, you must know what is port, what is endpoint, what is IP address, right? These are all covered in the basics. Then you need to develop some core skills. This may be advanced level. For example, without understanding the code, you can do still bug hunting. You can still identify the bugs. But when you know the coding, let's say you know Python, you know how to write bash scripting, you know how to read those codes. When you exploit something, there is a code file you need to understand. Now with the help of AI, you can copy paste and ask AI, that will explain logic by logic. But if you know something to do automation, you can build your own tools. For example, you can integrate nmap with some other tool to create your own tool that will reduce a lot of time and effort, right? So when you even reconnaissance phase or understanding the applications, you may need to know how coding works. So understand basic level programming. Then web security, understand about attack types. Sit and read about type of attacks, type of web attacks, type of network level attacks. So these types will give you which area you need to focus. Then web application basics. Most of the web applications nowadays offer API. API is like in olden days only they introduce web-based interface, but now every application comes with API. API is another big avenue where you can identify bugs and report. Most of the bug bounty program now scoping APIs. So next outcome, hands on is important. So refer old videos or ethical hacking related stuff. Do your hands on. Even though you are reporting or not, install that tool, fail, learn, repeat. That way you will succeed one day. So start something day by day. Just start, whenever you have free time. If you are a working professional, sit 20 minutes, 15 minutes, set up one tool, understand how that tool works. Next day you already did that tool. Now go next chapter or understand more about that tool. That's how you can mastering one particular tool, because within a short time period you may not able to master one particular tool. Even in this last 3 sessions we have introduced burp suit, the few other tools Shubham walked you through. Those tools are even new to me. Even I may sit and learn. The same way you can learn too. So next, tools and exploitation. So when you know OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities, you must know how to mitigate those vulnerabilities so that you can focus on that particular type of attack to identify the bugs. So learn about tools and OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. Reconnaissance as active passive reconnaissance, go deep so that you will understand. Most of the time active reconnaissance prohibited in some of the endpoints. For example, you cannot do pen testing or reconnaissance on a production server. They may put out of scope, but that reconnaissance already done by Shodan or any other passive reconnaissance tool, the database already available for you. Or there are n number of archiving tools that took backup and keep that website available in the backup websites called archives, where you can read about those reconnaissance details like passive reconnaissance. Those can be used to help you to identify the bugs. So real world practice, as you can use Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, HackerOne, Bugcrowd. These environments you can help, like CTF platforms help you to train. Is a secure platform or a safe platform to fail. When, for example, when you have a controlled environment like swimming pool, you can learn the swimming right with 4 feet depth. Similarly, Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, nothing harm. You can play around, nothing harm. You can learn. Then you can apply that skill in the production environment to identify the true bugs. Next, bug bounty platform, read about HackerOne, Bugcrowd, what all are the program they are offering, what all are the companies enrolled in the HackerOne Bugcrowd. Simply go to LinkedIn, search HackerOne, very famous hackers, they publish their disclosures. When they report, when they get bounty, they post it on LinkedIn or Twitter, where you can follow great hackers. I used to follow maybe 8 years ago. I used to use only Twitter is the medium. Famous hackers used to put some information about very latest bugs and CVEs. You will not find anywhere else. Twitter is the only source. But now LinkedIn, various field they are using, even many hackers, they have their own blogs. You can subscribe those blogs and get that up-to-date information. Then key skills, report writing is a very good skill. When you write a good report, even the low priority bug can be upgraded to medium and they give you bounty, right? So even today Shubham highlighted that, because that's how the reporting writing is important. When you understand the problem, you can write very valid statement in the reporting. When you find a low level bug but you exploit into creating a more impact, that turn to be a high priority bug, then that will lift the bounty amount as well as the recognition. So next, the milestone, earning first bounty is the first target, but keep try, keep fail. Then one day you will find, things will happen. Like it's like someone need to handhold, use all the resources what we have spoken last 3 weeks, upskill yourself, then you can start reporting. Probably the previous session was really good. Shubham highlighted end to end. He used passive reconnaissance, identified the endpoint, how to find the target, then exploit or apply those CVEs, then report it, right? So that's how you can first start. Once you know the path, repeat, fail. One day you will find a true bug. First milestone you can easily achieve. Actually, this type of hand holding never happened in the paid program, as most of the trainers are just a full-time core trainers, not ethical hackers. But here, the experience Shubham put in front of you is not just a trainer mindset. He's a real ethical hacker. He came front and showed his life, his experience, how you can fail, how you can succeed with real time examples. So use this as an opportunity to start, as soon as possible. Next is specialization and scaling. Once you started with something which we have demonstrated last session, next focus on one particular area. For example, you are good at API, you are good at Android, then go pick mobile, Android pen testing, iOS pen testing, particularly about cloud, AWS cloud, even sometime Chromium based browsers. As Chromium open, since Chromium is based on open source project, the bug bounty mostly distributed by Microsoft Edge as well as Chrome. So the heavy amount you can get if you found critical bugs in Chromium based vulnerabilities. Mostly the Chromium based zero-day CVEs are inviting, giving you high chance you will be recognized globally with I think minimum 10K is the bug bounty amount, 10,000 US dollar you can earn if you focus on that skill. But the basic is same logic. You need to understand, you need to follow the life cycle or the demonstrated steps to start something, then focus on the area. This is like in real time, every doctor complete MBBS, then they choose particular domain to master it right. Once you complete the basics, then focus on one particular area. Let's say you focus on AWS. Focus on AWS, you are good at AWS, then you will find more bugs in that particular area. You will be in that area, you will be the master. If you find Microsoft, you can get Microsoft is recognizing the security researchers, yearly with various programs. They are giving you bounties as well as access to some beta programs that would really help you to grow in your career. So one area most of the bug bounty hunters miss is building community. Once you gather so much knowledge, once you start recognized by companies, you need to self-market yourself. If when I met Shubham explained to me, hey, I'm doing this. Immediately, clicked in my mind, I need to bring this guy to community so that we can share that experience to many people. Here, I would encourage everyone, if you find something, you start market yourself. In your company, you can market yourself through writing internal blogs, internal Jira or Confluence articles, so that people are aware this guy is a guy who behind the scene written so many articles that will show up and give you recognition in your career. But how we can market ourselves outside the work, outside the company, right? Use LinkedIn, use Facebook, start a page in Facebook, start a page in LinkedIn. Keep posting, weekly one post or weekly two posts about your work, what you are doing. Keep showing up so that would build up your personal branding. One day that will help you to get your unachievable milestone in your career. Some company will see the post or some great people read about your blog and invite you for something which you can't even predict. So self-marketing is a last step, but before that you need to get started, right? Next, testing tools I would highly recommend we have seen Kali Linux in this session. Wireshark haven't covered, but we'll take separate session on Wireshark, as Wireshark is one of my favorite tool in my past career. As I worked as a technical support engineer, day in day out I use Wireshark, so I'm good at it. I can take separate class, but the Burp suite, Nmap, tons of resources available on YouTube. You can learn and set up these tools. As a beginner, you must know these tools, how it works, what are the free tier available, what are the premium paid version available, so that you can understand where you can alternative tools you can use it to achieve the same task. So next to the bounty platforms, as now bounty platforms are aggregated, right? HackerOne under lot of companies enrolled, Bugcrowd under lot of companies signed up under Bugcrowd, then SV Hack, then Integrity, lot of other companies, lot of other unknown bug bounty programs also available. Some companies directly offer bug bounty program. Read about their web pages. So learning platform use Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, Wasp, WebGoat are really good platform to fail, platform to learn. So those are controlled environments where you can upskill yourself. As Shubham also repeat, consistency is the key. Curiosity, that's why you all here, or you are watching this video, which means you have curiosity to learn pen testing or bug bounty, right? So that's so important. You need to have this skill like curiosity. Custom tools, once you reach some level, for example, Nmap, how it works, Python, how it works, you can start integrating multiple tools into scripting. Then you develop your own tool to save hours. This is fall under automation, but that's how in Kali Linux, if you take each tool, that's how it was introduced. So if you take any tool, it may use multiple API or multiple scripting to do some particular task and combine together yes or no or if else logic to prepare a final outcome. So once you reach that level, you can integrate multiple tools. Now that is done by AI agent. Now you can integrate multiple tools outcome into AI agent. AI agent do the manual analysis and giving you crisp outcome. So you can spend less time. So the future would be more AI assisted. Maybe if I am a bug bounty hunter, under me, 10-15 AI agent work for me and simplify the task. So I will not do subdomain check or nmap manually. I just assign each and everything to AI agent. That agent does the job and give that. That's how now companies are start adopting AI. So building automation script, understanding AI agent is very advanced level for experienced candidates. Communication is the key. When you communicate, when you start reporting detailed report, read about reports which got high bounty amounts in past, so that you will know how to start the report, how to demonstrate, what are the things they highlighted, how they explained the business impact. As you are a technically savvy person, but when you don't understand the business, then you are not able to demonstrate the value you are the skill you are selling. For example, you found a bug in database. Now the database is holding high value transaction which can directly impact the entire business. They may shut the business, they may lose full business. It's a high business impact, right? If you don't know their business, that is just a database. Let's say you found a database bug, but they told you that database is just a lab environment, which doesn't make sense, right? That doesn't give you much value to the company, right? So finding that asset which is valuable, so that your report will be accepted, no way to push them back. So that's where we need to understand the business and scope. So that would help you to gain the bounty clearly. So certifications, I never recommend any certifications because most successful people in the industry never hold certifications and they never waste time on putting certification next to their name. But as a beginner, when you search for a job, there are entry level job only they filter with CEH past candidates or CC certification candidates or CompTIA certification candidates, right? So when you are a beginner, you don't have any Hall of Fame, you are looking for a job, then beginner level certification you can take. Certified ethical hacker is the good start. You can take that certification, clear the exam, show up in the resume. At least you get entry level job to fix your financial problems. So beginner level certification, you can start with CompTIA Security or CH. Intermediate, once you gain the knowledge, you start participating in bug bounty or a stable job. Company may offer you education allowance. Let's say you joined some product-based companies, they may offer $2,000 per year. Even India IT services company may offer 100 to 500 to $1,000 per year education allowance. You can use that allowance to upskill yourself to crack OSCP or EJPT exams. That will help you to learn fundamental things clearly. Then that will help you to understand more technical concepts. Advanced, you have many certifications, many programs, even for writing reports, writing, understanding business impacts. There are courses available. But advanced, you can go with OSWE, GW, APT, CH Master. Such certifications exist in the market. So AppSec engineer, red team operator, security architect, product security, these all are just a title. Nowadays, titles are keep changing due to very dynamic in the nature. You can't stick to one particular title as company hierarchy, architecture. Now, due to AI introduction, company careers are changing. Now, you may not find dedicated pen tester. Now they are become AppSec engineer or AI engineer, kind of a different role they are getting into. Now AI engineer is automating all the pen testing part. They only know automate how to use AI, but really they don't know the subject matter for pen testing. So you may not get focus on one particular title, focus on the skill. Titles are just a byproduct. So next, I would start with some 30-day plan. Next 30 days, if you are a pure beginner, start with setting up Linux, learn about Linux fundamentals, then Python fundamentals, start working on hack the box, capture the flag exercise. You will learn when you show up every day or consistently, like every weekend you sit with the hack the box environment and go one by one, level by level. You will learn in a controlled environment. So then you come to production, you will be able to understand what you are doing, how the application responds, because you already practiced in the controlled environment. All right, so with that note, I conclude here. Thank you very much for joining all 4 sessions. Hope this session is informative and motivating you to start something in this year. So also I would thank Shubham. He stepped in to help the community. I have planned to continue this effort in structured way. So your feedbacks are so important. So far I have seen such a good feedback. I will share the feedback form, your rating related feedback information over the WhatsApp group. So you all participate without fail. That would be really helpful for us to continue this community work. Day by day we'll add some additional courses and help advanced concepts with simple explanation, as there is no motive to make it to earn or make money out of such programs. We really wanted to solve some of the gap exist in the industry. For example, if you join any paid institute, the trainer never be a real hacker. When you talk to real hacker or industry expert, their teaching method is different. They will show you things which are not exist in the textbook. If you have seen something like that happened in this class, please call out, because Shubham shared his real experience. So with that note, I conclude here. Thank you everyone. Thank you Shubham once again.
Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity, and thanks to everyone for sticking to us at the end. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.